What's up, guys? See that ugly mug right there? And I'm not talking about
You got the
shirt.
mirror up there,
I'm
dude.
not
You need to
talking
move
about
the
the
mirror
shirt
back.
either. I'm talking about, oh, God. Anyway, anyway, what's up, guys? Tonight on the fly as we continue our Kiss themed uh, episodes as we've got looking at the countdown 16 days, 4 hours, 23 minutes on the dot right now. And it'll be the December 2nd show at Madison Square Garden.
How many
Um,
days?
16. So almost
Well,
almost 2 weeks.
well,
Um, with
10
me as
shows left.
always,
I saw that.
yeah, it's not many.
10.
With me as always is a Wardan. What's up, buddy?
Much, man. How you been?
Same old, bud. Same old.
Same
Getting
old,
ready
same old.
for getting ready for Thanksgiving's next week. We
Yes,
got
sir, it is.
a week from today. Um,
One more day and I'm off for a week.
oh, you butthead. Um,
I know.
but
I had to rub that in with you, Stevie.
yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with a week off that wasn't an actual vacation I had to take. So,
Well, working for the school district, we're not technically paid for that week, so I don't feel guilty at all. Where they do our check throughout the year. We get to check
all right.
everything, but we're not technically paid for the weeks we're off. So
Oh yeah,
if I was, I still wouldn't care. So
it's still. I was getting ready to say still.
it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. And yeah, I could go somewhere and make more money, but damn, I love my days off. And
Yeah.
get to spend more time with you, Stevie,
Oh, ain't you sweet? So
and a
Kiss,
liar.
Kiss will be yeah. Kiss will be playing Saturday night. Ain't Saturday the 18th? Yeah. Quebec, Montreal, excuse me, and then the Sunday in Quebec, and then they'll come back when it November 24th. They come back to the states in Knoxville,
Oh,
and
they're
then
playing the night before Thanksgiving. Wow,
yeah, right after that. Look, they play the night before Thanksgiving in Toronto,
nice.
and the night after in Knoxville. So that'll be a good
And
Thanksgiving gift.
they announced the pay-per-view coming up.
Yep, you can stream it live. You gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll get it. It's Saturday night. Just chill out. I saw somebody say they're going to wait for that in the Dubai thing to come out together, and I go, hey, Metallica already sang about that. It's called "The Day That Will Not." What's the song? "The Day That Will Not Be" or something like that.
Yeah,
I totally messed up my line. Never mind.
you had it going there
The,
for a minute, then
the
you
day that shall not come, I guess, or something
yeah,
like that. It
you
was
had
off Death
you had it for
Magnetic.
a second, and then it just went.
Oh,
But
just around your greatness, Stevie. I'm just so enamored.
I know. But tonight we will do our top 10 demon songs. That's Gene Simmons songs, and man, if you thought I
What? We're
had
not doing King Diamond? What?
if you thought I had a lot of honorable mentions for it,
Oh God, here we go.
this could be. Gosh, this was tough. I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but this was tough.
It was.
There's
I told you the other day that I had like even cutting the fat, kind of like what you would do every day. Get it?
yeah, that's right.
I had 27 songs. Like son of a bitch. I mean, I make a every time we do these lists, I put a playlist on there. I was like, yeah, I like that one, like that one, like that one. Like 27 songs, and then
Yes,
I
hell
still was editing it up to a couple hours ago. I made a 1 minute change, and I'll tell you about it when we do it.
So our original plan was top five, and then Warden texted me and said, "Can we just do 10?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's probably gonna be better because it's gonna be
We
hard."
probably could have done 30.
Easily could have done
Oh yeah.
15. Easily could have done
We
15.
might as well done. We might as well done 20 because we're gonna have honorable mentions. I know we are.
Well, I've got a tie at number 10 again. So anyway, but
Well, I did that too on mine. I put songs together because I consider them sister songs. If that gives it a hint.
oh, cheater, pumpkin eater.
No, they're songs that are like sister songs.
Yeah,
Hey, Kiss for years always said with their new album, this is Destroyer Part 2. So this is,
they said that about freaking Crazy Nights. This is going to be the best album. It's going to be like Destroyer. You remember Paul said that?
well, I
And
remember them saying it about Revenge, and I didn't get that at all from Revenge. We're
no,
going to call this
I
Destroyer
see
2.
Revenge closer to
Well,
Destroyer.
Bob Ezrin, yeah.
Right? I mean, nothing. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Crazy Nights. I like Crazy Nights, but It was not
Crazy Nights or Revenge? Which one?
Revenge.
Crazy Nights for me. Crazy Nights got me through some hard ass
Wanna-
adolescent bullshit, man.
you got up there singing in your bedroom at night my way, did you? I'm
No,
going.
my dude, I love that song, and
I do too. Nothing
yeah.
wrong with it, but that's one of
No, I
those
mean, honestly, I didn't have therapy back then because it was the '80s and we didn't have it.
I had
But
therapy.
dude, Crazy Nights, dude. That was probably when I really, I mean, I got Asylum, of course,
Yeah.
but when I really got into when Crazy Nights was out, I love Crazy Nights. You know, I liked that era, and I mean, it's just a shame that Turn on the Night wasn't a bigger hit, and Reason to Live. I mean, that
Reason to
but that's
live.
another podcast.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing we can save that for another night.
Yeah.
So looking at the news, Gene Simmons made a little comment today. He was on the 519 magazine. Said, I feel sad. I feel sad and angry that both Ace and Peter aren't here. I mean, they're alive, but they're not here to enjoy this unbelievable journey with us.
They're alive and well. Where are they?
Yeah, you remember that comment? They were there.
That wasn't Gene that said it though.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
back then. Yeah.
That was a sign of things to come, though. You think? Uh, they were here at the beginning and deserve all the credit. And when they look in the mirror, the only reason they're not here with us is themselves.
And my bandmate. He
Well,
didn't say that, did he?
he didn't say that, but there's.
I don't know. In the same interview, he said, "Oh, Kiss can go on without me and Paul." It's like, no, it can't, Gene. It can't. It can for some people, but it's called a tribute band.
It's
And I've seen Strutter. I've seen this band called Alive. It ain't Kiss, bro. I mean, it ain't no Paul, no Gene. Yeah, they got away with Ace and Peter being gone. But, I mean, I think they did it at the right time because I think the 80s saved them because it brought a lot of people like me on board. But no Gene, no Paul. I mean, it's
okay. What if it was just Paul and three, like Tommy and Eric, and they brought in another bass player?
no,
What about if it was Gene?
no.
Okay.
Those, because I have said recently that Paul's my favorite guy and I'm a Paul guy.
All right.
Doing this list, I
Make
think I think they're interchangeable. I think it's Gene and Paul. I don't think it's just one or the other.
Well, they
And
did so many, man. I mean, that's the thing. They did so many
yeah.
of the songs. The
But
majority.
that's when I got into them, is when it was the Gene and Paul show. I mean, which has been since like '83 or whatever,
Because you
or
think
'80
about
when
think about it, how many songs that other than, let's see, from the Elder, well, after the Elder, from Creatures to Revenge, how many songs did anybody else sing? But Eric Carr sang what? Little
Little
Caesar.
Caesar.
He sang Beth on Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. That's
That's
it.
about it. Yeah, that's about it.
Until Bruce sang I Walk Alone on Carnival Souls,
Yeah.
that was that's 3 songs. And then
Yeah.
after that, you had the Monster Sonic Boom with Tommy and Eric. I think they got a song a piece on an album. So there's no telling how many Paul and Gene songs there is. So, what else is going on in the news? Yeah, let's talk a little sports. You were talking about your Texas A&M, your favorite team, Texas.
Oh yeah, my Aggies. You know,
Fire.
I got a lot of buddies that are Aggies fans. You know, living in Texas. You know, and there, as you know, next year Oklahoma and Texas are going to the SEC. So there's this thing called the Big 12, which is probably going to be like the Big 6 next year when that happens.
The Big 12.
And A&M was in that with us, and they got tired of being Texas' little brother, which I get. You know, Texas gets their own Longhorn network, which was stupid. I love the Longhorns, but I never watch it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love the Longhorns, but if there was a Kiss channel, I probably wouldn't watch it all the time either. You know, I mean, come on.
All the time.
You got to go up and breathe sometimes. You get away from your favorite thing. Well, they left and went to the SEC. Well, they beat Bama one time. Oh my God. And when that, and in Texas, they actually had, this is how messed up. This is how, okay, Congress in Texas or US, it's all messed up. There were people saying, well, we need to make the thing where, because of the Texas A&M rivalry, which Texas won, by the way, since, a long time ago, uh, they play at Thanksgiving, and that's been a big game,
Yeah.
for both. The boosters love it. You have a lot of money in Texas. You have a lot of money in A&M, which they proved this week.
Definitely.
But they would play that, and there was a thing to where these Congress people were like, well, we need to make a law to where they play each other because it's a big revenue. And I agree, it should be done. It's a rivalry. Well, a couple years ago, Texas announced with Oklahoma, where Oklahoma goes, Texas goes, because they're smart. They know, hey, there's a
Yeah.
good rivalry here. Let's do it. We don't like each other, but we'll make a lot of money. Because what time is it, Stevie? It's 7:17, and OU still sucks. So the Aggies got a little upset that Texas was going, not so much Oklahoma, but they got to worry about Oklahoma too, and that's Texas' biggest rival. I don't worry about anybody else. I worry about Oklahoma because they still own us. That's the one loss we have this year. They own us.
Yeah.
And we beat them last year though, but that don't count. Last year doesn't count. But this same Congress people wanted to write a law. Well, we can't say that Texas go to the SEC. Son of bitches, you were the same people a few years ago that wanted to make sure they play it. Now you're getting your wish, and see, people's attention span, even in Congress, Texas Congress, don't they attain. But I digress. Well, I heard all this stuff. Well, we beat Bama one time, and I don't think Texas is ready for the SEC. I'm like, what the hell have you guys won? You
Exactly.
haven't won a national title since 1936. Yeah, it's been a long time for Texas, but it was like what, 2006. I mean, and they came and they were a quarterback down from beating Bama in the last time they were in the national
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah.
But Texas is the money, and A&M makes the money. So Jimbo Fisher, when they hired him, they gave him a plaque saying national championship, left it blank when you win a national championship. Wake up call. You didn't win. Jimbo Fisher didn't win. Jimbo Fisher was a disciple of the Nick Saban. Guess what, Aggies? It didn't work out for you. Guess what? Oklahoma and Texas are coming to the SEC. So that means you're going to go down even further in Texas. So you may go back to the Big Six if you want to. Go play UTSA, who almost beat you. You know what I mean? Hell, they almost beat you. Texas. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
But there's a rumor. I know, talk smack, right? There's a rumor that Lane Kiffin may go to A&M. He would fit because he's a troll. He would fit right in. I hope he goes. Lane Kiffin or Urban Meyer. I would love that. I told my buddy, hey, Charlie Strong's available. Maybe the boosters there will give him a chance like the ones in Texas did. They run that guy off too soon. But Texas is, we almost blew it last week against TCU. I mean, Texas, they were great against Bama, but they don't finish up, and they don't. I mean, they're going to probably be frozen out, but maybe on the Big 12 if they can beat Oklahoma. But A&M, I got to worry about Texas now. You got to worry about OU. So OU's probably a little bit better than Texas sometimes. So you're back in the Big 12, man, and you're going to be the Big Zero.
What you got to what you're leaving out too? They fired the coach, and they're paying him $77 million to stay at home. And what killed me was when they made the announcement they were firing him. They were talking about, well, we shouldn't be in the spot we're in now. We should be relevant right now. When the heck was the last time you were relevant? I mean, just like you said, it was in the 30s when you won a national championship last.
Mm-hmm.
How many conference championships have you won? 0.
They beat Bama one time, but who else did this year?
That was what they hang their hat on? I mean,
oh yeah, they did. Because all I heard about for we beat Bama.
Well, I mean, if you go back long enough, look long enough, every team's probably beat Bama at one time.
Well, Bama has one loss this season. Guess who it was by?
That's true. That's true.
and they almost beat them last year. I mean, Texas came very close to beating them last year. But what they say, almost only works in horseshoes and hand grenades. Is that the
Yeah,
old saying?
something
Yeah,
like
but
that. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with A&M. I mean, they got to see this coming, and they thought Jimbo was their guy. But man, to give somebody $10 million, who do they think they are? The Raiders? Man, remember they gave Gruden that contract?
Yes.
I mean, when are these teams going to learn? I mean, you
They're
can't really feel you
dude.
can't really feel bad for you can't really feel bad for you can't really feel bad for A&M or like the Raiders, is because they wouldn't give these big contracts. They wouldn't give all this money if they didn't make more money. And you always see, well, the team's stupid to give him money. No, they're going to make more than that money with that player. Look what that guy from the Angels. They say that he may make 500 million, but he doesn't pitch anymore, Otani or whatever. But that's ridiculous to give somebody. You're giving people as much money as more than some MLB franchises. But hey,
I've often wondered how you justify that. Where is this money coming from? I mean,
advertisers,
it's got to
they
be.
pay. It's got to be ad revenue.
Yeah, it's got to be because if they were going to base that like on tickets and sales, and the tickets would be sky high. I mean, you wouldn't be able to afford to go to a.
Yeah, but baseball is different than like the NFL because they have so many games. The biggest contract in the NFL is like a 2-year deal, and a guy will get 5 years for what they'll pay in MLB. That's why they don't want to like get rid of the. I love baseball, but 162 games is way too many. They could knock out 60 games, have 100 games, be a lot better.
Your thing with baseball is there's no salary cap.
No.
There needs to be a salary cap in baseball.
But that's why they have so many games, is because the NFL, somebody gets like 55 million, somebody will get that for 1 year in baseball because they play so many games.
What I'm saying though is make a salary cap, make it competitive, make it where it's not just, well, obviously it didn't work for the Yankees this year or the Red Sox because they're the two big spenders most of the time, and two big markets.
It didn't work for the Dodgers very well either.
Well, at least they got to the playoffs, but it didn't work out in the playoffs.
It's funny about baseball. This is the first year since I think 1990 the Yankees, Red Sox, or Cardinals weren't in the postseason.
Right. And I'm so happy the Yankees didn't make it, but I could deal with the Red Sox, but Yankees, no.
See, I'm the direct opposite. I'd rather go for the Yankees and the Red Sox. I'm not a big Red Sox fan.
Yankees for years. If you can name me one Yankee All-Star besides Derek Jeter that went through their farm system.
Good point.
What the Yankees and the Red Sox bought into it. The Red Sox figured it out when they started winning World Series. They were like, okay, we've got to start doing this. All the Yankees were doing was using the rest of Major League Baseball as their farm system.
So what's wrong with that? It's a business, Stevie.
But
it sucks for the fans, but it's a business.
Okay, this is why I'm saying you need a salary cap. How is that fair to a team like the Kansas City Royals? That
life ain't fair, bro.
No, but this is not life. This is sports.
It's baseball, dude. It's life, man.
Every other sport has it. So you're going to
but talk to the union about that. They're not going to do it.
You're going to tell me that doesn't have something to do with Steinbrenner over the years saying, hey, you better not put a salary cap on us.
Well, I hope not. He's been dead for how many years now? I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Over the years when he was there, he kept that from happening a lot. You will never convince me that I'm wrong about that. But anyway,
baseball needs to. And speaking of baseball, it's got to suck to be an Oakland fan.
See, that's what I'm
Not only do they lose the Raiders, now they're going to lose the A's. That sucks. That does. I mean, I think it sucks. It's the haves and have-nots, because there's people I know Oakland A's and Raider fans, and I don't know. It sucks, dude. It really does.
You ever see that movie Moneyball?
Yes.
That is one of my favorite movies, and the fact that that's true. Billy Beane, making them winners over the years with hardly any budget. And he went by.
Yeah, but Moneyball's ruined baseball. Everything's about analytics now. It's boring.
I don't like analytics, but he that worked until he got to the playoffs. But that big winning streak. Now that we've done sports, tell us what the weather's going to be for tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow in San Antonio, Stevie.
We're actually supposed to be in the 70s tomorrow.
That's what that here too. It's nice. It's like
It's
next week's going to be like 70s. Like nice. There's no freeze yet, thank God.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it, though. So now that we've done all that, let's get right to the main event. Like we said, guys.
No Aggie comments. I heard anybody. Nobody's commenting on the Aggies.
Nobody's commenting, bud. Nobody's commenting.
All I hear is cricket, 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 cricket.
Not that I know of, but I'm checking out all the different places we're on. So nobody said anything yet.
Yeah, getting kind of quiet, aren't we? Mm-hmm.
So tonight, like we said, top 10 Gene Simmons song, The Demon, and this includes the solo album. I hope you included those on there too.
Well, you said Gene Simmons, that's everything. So my top 5 are off asshole.
If that's the case, we need to close up shop now.
Right.
But yeah, so top 10 Gene Simmons songs. We've already done our top 10 Ace, and that's been a while back. Somebody had Torpedo Girl up there, but
Yep, and I had a lot of people said it was okay, so I'd still be my top 10.
Approval. You got their approval, yay!
Yeah, I got an approval. It's not a bad song at all. It's better than anything off the Elder besides Escape from the Island.
You didn't like Dark Light?
And I like I.
Keep naming them. And
Torpedo Girl is not a bad song, Stevie. It's not a great song, but it's not a bad song. In fact, I think that album may make an appearance on this list. Just saying.
It probably will. Well, yeah.
Let me get into my crystal ball.
It does make an appearance up here. Well, mine
may make a couple, it sounds like.
No.
Okay.
All right. So you want me
to go first this time because I went first last time.
All right. So number 10 is a tie. Imagine that.
Oh, you can't do that. Oh, wait. Never mind.
No. Yeah. I got this.
Actually, I had a tie on my list, but I was changed something today, so I have no ties on my list.
So number 10 is a tie. And
and Firestarter.
Yeah. But the first one is from side 4 of Alive 2, and that's Larger Than Life. Love that song.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You haven't been to England too? You got much to do? Japan had much to eat? That wasn't on your list?
Rockin' in the USA.
I love that song, dude.
I don't get the hate for it.
There's a lot of hate. I don't get the hate for Torpedo Girl, but hey, haters are out there.
Where? But Rockin' in the USA, we're talking about that. But Larger Than Life,
I love it.
When they do that, they do the Larger Than Life. But then when he goes in, my love is too much to hold.
That's a great Ace solo. Oh wait,
maybe the late great Bob Kulick, probably.
That's a great solo too on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, Larger Than Life from side 4, and then this one does this is a deep cut here, from Hotter Than Hell. 1, 2, 3, 4, bam, bam. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, watch it, man. When I get a copyright infringement, YouTube may get us.
All the way. I mean, that's
what I had to do with Stevie before I got on this podcast. We had to go all the way.
Oh my God. So that one, deep cut, really got me thinking about it when you see who was it? Charlie Benante and Joe McGinnis. John 5 did it, when it was in COVID, they did a remake of it, and God, they sounded just like I just thought it was they remastered all the way because it sounded so much like the Hotter Than Hell version. But yeah, another great guitar solo.
Who did that? Who were you saying?
Was Charlie Benante from Anthrax.
Okay.
Joe McGinnis from Quarantine, and who else was? I think John Five was on that too.
John
But
Five.
yeah, they wore Kiss masks. They just wore Kiss masks. You couldn't see them singing, but they were singing. But yeah, Gene just does. I mean, you got that demon growl back then in the Hotter Than Hell and in the Larger Than Life one. But All the Way is number 10 for me, tied with Larger.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I
I do
love
too.
that intro.
That's like Kiss Raw, you know.
It's almost as good as like you took a dump or something on Almost Human.
Don't be taking a dump on Almost Human, dude. It's a good song.
That's what he did at the start of it. All right, number 10 for you.
Number 10 for me. We were just talking about it. One of my favorite albums from the 80s. I think I like it because you can hear Paul in the background.
Oh, yeah.
That starts off with the little like Bruce little solo. Good Girl Gone Bad.
Oh yeah.
Not the face of a woman, hands of a child thing.
Oh,
I never thought about that until Shout Out Loud mentioned that. I was like, yeah,
yeah.
that is kind of weird. But I just like that because you can hear Paul singing in the background. Good. Come on. It's just a upbeat, a lot of keyboards, just an 80s song. Good Girl Gone Bad. Got a lot of Bruce in it. Gene, I think Gene, like, I think his vocals on that album are just
Oh
great. I
yeah.
mean, it's just like, and I didn't pick a Hell or High Water, but I like that song.
What about Thief
And I
in the
was telling myself back then, I was like, God, why isn't this a single? This is a good tune. It's a great pop tune.
Yeah.
But I guess it was a Paul show back then. But yeah, Good Girl Gone Bad. Thief in the Night, close second with this one. I could have put them together. I like them both. I like the Genes. I like the Good Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah, I can go. Good Girl Gone Bad is a good one. Like you said, those Gene songs on Crazy Nights, whether he was off worried about Hollywood or not, they were still good songs. So number 9 for me, and you mentioned this album earlier, Unmasked. Um, I can remember listening to this as a kid, and I wasn't really put off the first time I listened to Unmasked, which was when did Unmasked come out in 80?
80,
80? So 7 years old. I was a I was one of those Kiss fans that if it was Kiss, I was going to listen to it. Didn't matter what it sounded like. Um, but hearing Is That You, starting off with Is That You?
That's
No,
a Paul song.
no, but I'm just saying,
I know.
starting off with it didn't really put me off. But then it was kind of weird to hear
Okay.
Gene Simmons sing "You're All That I Want." I mean, you hear Gene Simmons sing it kind of closest to a ballad, besides "When You Wish Upon a Star" that you'll hear Gene sing. But that version is good. But like, and I'll give credit to Tom and Zeus on this one from Shout Out
Yeah.
Loudcast. The demo version of this, if
Box
you
set.
think, yeah, on the box set, it is stripped down, and hearing Gene sing that on there, it's pretty cool. There, it's a better version of it, is a demo version. But
I agree.
and then Paul gets in it in the end. I don't know what to think about that at the end when Paul does his little.
Oh, I like it.
I don't know whether to like it or not. I really don't. It's just, it seems like, why does Paul got to butt in on this one? Just
Because they're Lennon and McCartney, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. That's the way they are.
Yeah.
Mick and Keith. That's the way they are.
But you don't
They're
hear
Gene and Paul.
Do you hear Gene butting in on Paul songs? No.
I can't think of one.
Come in on.
He does say "do it" twice in Deuce live, and he shouldn't. That's always bugged me when he does in off the live version when he says "do it," and he's like, "You're not supposed to do it twice. Do it once."
Well, that's why they call it Deuce. It's 2. All right, number 9 for you.
Number 9 for me is also off Unmasked.
Naked City.
Yes.
That
I love this song.
is a good one.
Yeah, You're All That I Want was on there too, but the Naked City, it's like all the things have turned to stone. I mean, it's like it gives me this like post-apocalypse, when I remember when I hear this song, it reminds me of what I was doing in like 1980, and I think I was watching Clash of the Titans. Everything is turned to stone. Remember Medusa would turn people to
Yeah,
stone, so it always kind of reminds me of that.
yeah,
Granted, when this came out, I wasn't into Kiss, but I go back and listen to it. I just in the naked. I mean, it's just I don't know. This song is just I went through the album and this song is just yeah, everything is turned to stone and it's just She's So European was up there too, but Naked City's probably next to Shandy is probably my favorite album on song on this album. I love Shandy.
yeah. Nothing wrong with Shandy. Shandy's a great
No.
song. There's some bashers out there, but
Naked City just tells a story and it's just I don't know what it's about, but I mean, if
what
there's a
about
Naked City, I'd like to go.
depends on who's naked.
Yeah, exactly. It is Gene though.
It's Gene, and you still want to go? I know. Well, how about that intro though? The bass line on that intro though, boom. That
Yeah.
bass is like predominant on that. I love that too.
And I guess maybe it's because, I guess, I I I kind of felt that way when Skid Row did Slave to the Grind. I like it now, but I didn't like it at first.
Yeah,
I can see how people, because it wasn't Skid Row to me. Slave to the Grind, you know, but when they went from like, well, yeah, they already did Dynasty, but when you go from Love Gun to like Unmasked, I can see why people lost it. But as a fan that just discovered the band, in 1986, 87, it's a pop masterpiece. I love it. I love the album cover. I love it. Everything. I love it.
it was a gradual thing. You go from Love Gun to Dynasty,
Solo albums, I guess.
Masked, and then The Elder. I mean, it was they went.
So if Kiss would have done like, say, they would have done Creatures after Love Gun, you think it would have saved them, or do you think they were in decline anyway? I
Could
think they were burned out. I think they were too big, and I think they
I
needed to
think
crumb down anyway.
I think it was just like you said, burnout. I mean, that band did like 3 albums, or they actually did 6 albums in what, six
Too
years,
much.
and
Yeah.
touring. And I mean, and then when it really took off, you had to be here, you had to be there. I mean, there was world tours. I mean, there was no slowdown in there. There was no slowdown at all. I think if they had took a little more time after that success of like Destroyer, if they just took a little time off after Destroyer and then did Rock and Roll Over, then toured, take a little time, but they were in that mode where, hey, we can't stop now. We're on a roll. We can't stop
Yeah.
now. We got to put stuff out.
Well, people say that it's because they kind of went that pop way. I mean, I don't necessarily agree because
I
look at
don't think
Aerosmith.
that.
Because
No.
Aerosmith, they stayed rock. They got off a little bit kilter, and some of the albums they like Draw the Line, or some of them they say that aren't very good. I think are great. Because it's and but I think it's just there's so much competition. You had what, Van Halen coming up,
Yeah.
AC/DC was coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Kiss had to kind of bottom out, and I think taking the makeup off, and it's a sad thing that Creatures wasn't bigger because I mean, God, that's a great album.
My thing is, you asked about Creatures after Love Gun. Do you think Peter could have pulled off the drums on Creatures?
No, no.
I don't think so either.
But then again, he was a lot younger. If he would
wasn't
have
his
got himself straight,
drumming,
maybe he could have. Who knows?
but it wasn't his kind of drumming. I mean,
Well, it may not have been that way. Maybe they brought maybe Bob Ezrin, if he was in his right mind, he would have produced Creatures. It would have sounded a lot different.
well, but I would
I mean, if that was the case, Ace may have left before Peter.
Yeah, I would hate that Creature, and I mean that sounds bad because I love the original four, but I would hate if Eric Carr wasn't on Creatures, because Eric Carr made Creatures to me. That drum sound of that was what made. As soon as you hear that opening of Creatures of the Night, you're like, holy crap, they're back. I mean, that was.
But I mean, songs like that and Danger, Killer. I mean, it's just rock and roll, man.
Yep.
And if there was ever a follow up to Destroyer, it was Creatures.
Yep, I agree with that. I'll go along with that. But my thing, people talk all the time about, well, the elder sucks. You know, some people don't like the
because
pop,
it does. I'm just kidding.
but
It doesn't.
I wouldn't have wanted them not to have done it now, looking back
You
on it.
you say that now, but
Well, back in the day, I wore out the elder. I mean,
it's an acquired taste, though. I mean, it's
but back in the day too, it was totally different. Back in the day, when you got an album or you got a cassette,
yeah.
you listened to that.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't just go on like, I'm gonna pick up my iPad and I'm gonna listen to
Yeah.
that one song. I don't have to listen to it again. You got your money's worth out of
Yeah,
that.
because you actually have to pay for it nowadays. You just
You pay $12 or whatever.
you pay the price of one album nowadays, and you get freaking everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then, what, $9.99, $7.99, $10.99? I mean, that was allowance, bro.
Unless you were like Pedro Warden on Columbia House, and you would kept getting stuff up there.
Yeah, true
But
that. Hey
okay,
man, that's how I got into the Kiss, man. Thank Columbia House Asylum, baby.
nothing wrong with that. A lot of people did it. There's Columbia House people out there listening
I
right
think I
now.
may have been one of the few people that actually paid that
You might
to
be
come
one of
clean with you. Yeah.
I remember as a kid, and I mean, I was like, gosh, maybe I was like 7 or 8. I saw the ad, and
It's a good deal.
and I actually, without my mom and my dad knowing it, I put however much money, and I put it in like change in a in a envelope and mailed it off. Because it was like a penny, but you had to pay like, I don't
You
know how.
never got that one where you taped the penny to the thing? They would actually, yeah.
Yes, and I sent, but you had to send like, I don't know, it was like maybe $1.
Shipping and handling or
Yeah,
something like that.
something
Yeah.
like that. And I put it all in change in an envelope, send it, and the mail lady wouldn't send it off. She put it back in the box. I was like,
She probably knew you too, right?
yeah, she knew me, but I was like, come on. But anyway,
I remember doing that. I told my mom I wanted to do it, and she goes, "Kiss? Aren't they a little old for you?" I was like, "Yeah, I like."
but yeah, Columbia House people are probably watching right now.
Thank God it wasn't Rod Stewart. I never would have never got into them. They did dress like Rod Stewart.
Columbia House people, if you want, what's your address, Ward?
666.
666, good one. So
Mockingbird Lane.
number 8 for me, and this is off Asylum.
Wait, we're on number 9.
No,
Wait.
you just did your number 9. You just did Naked City.
Okay, you're right. Sorry, dude. It's been a long day.
And one of them Texas fans can't count. I mean, geez, come on.
I ain't up to 76 million though. Go ahead.
Number 8, off Asylum, and it's Secretly Cruel.
You ain't nobody's fool.
You ain't nobody's fool. This is a typical. This is a 70s Kiss song in the 80s. This
Yeah,
could.
I see that.
There was a guy, and I have tried to get in contact with him. If you go on YouTube,
I remember you talking about this when we did our
is his name, and he
You did that thing when we talked about when we did Asylum versus Animalized. I remember you talking about it.
Secretly Cruel as a 70s Kiss song. He dressed up as each member and was playing the stuff like that. And it fits so bad. Loser? Is that
I'm sorry, no, I'm itching my head, dude. Sorry. I mean, I love Kiss, but come on, dude.
Talent. I mean, if you can do it, dude, I mean, more power to you. I don't know where Double Virgo is now, but
Who?
that's his name on YouTube.
Double Virgo?
Double Virgo. Not Bubble.
I said double, bitch.
Bitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be somebody's bitch today. But yeah, just did an incredible job with it. But yeah, and that made me listen to Secretly Cruel a little bit closer, the actual version on Asylum. And I mean, the lyrics were like, that could have fit right into a 70s Kiss album. But yeah, Secretly Cruel is number 8 for me.
Number 8. For me,
I guess you didn't like Secretly Cruel.
no, I like Secret Cool, but we may hear about that later. Just saying.
I got you.
Number eight. Number eight for me, off the solo album, not the asshole one, the other one. This one was kind of hard for me because I do like Gene's solo album. I probably like it second after Paul's, and I know that's blasphemy to say that. I'm not saying it's any better than Ace's, but I probably like it a little bit more because Gene has an aspect to it. He's more Beatlesque
Yeah.
than he
Yep.
is, and I liked Living in Sin. I liked, Tunnel of Love. But the song that I really like, and it wasn't Radioactive, is Mr. Make Believe. I just like that song. I like the overtime. I don't know who plays guitar on it, but it's got that Beatlesque kind of thing to it, to where it's just a lot of melody, a lot of harmony. But Mr. Make Believe, I
The
love the song.
the intro to it,
Yeah,
the the way they do it with the drums and stuff, I like that. I'll tell you a funny story about Mr. Make Believe because that is a
but that's not the one about
no,
Lon
it's not
Chaney.
a
That's the Man of
woman,
a
that's
Thousand
a
Faces. That's
face.
right. That's right. Okay.
Mr. Make Believe. Okay, I got in Kiss at an early age, like 5 years old.
Mm.
So these solo albums come out, and I'm at like my cousin next door's birthday party, and he's got I don't know, it was a friend of theirs or something like that. This girl is there, and she's even at the age of like 5 or 6, I was trying to, and I sang Mr. Make Believe to her. What my first public appearance and first
Did she sue you?
no, she kissed
Oh,
me, and then she
and
kissed.
she kissed you?
No, she did really though.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but
Oh,
yeah,
you're just make believing, Stevie. Come on.
yeah, I'm just being Mr. Make Believe. It was
Wow, Stevie, I didn't know that, man. Your first kiss was off Mr. Make Believe. So did it make your top 10
a
list?
little bit on that. And the fact that I knew that song, that's crazy. That at like 5 or 6 years old, I knew every word of Mr. Make Believe. I could sing the
Could
whole.
you say it now?
Can I do it? Do I know the
Can you
word?
you know all the words of it now?
I don't know for sure if I would do it now. If I could do it, and I don't know if I'd do it if I even thought I remembered it right now.
I
But
remember I got into Kiss like late 80s, and I remember the solo albums weren't released. And I went somewhere and they had them. I guess they were released later. And I
yeah,
only had enough money for one.
which
So the
one?
one I buy was Gene, because Gene is probably the reason I got into Kiss. We talked about that on the whole Why Not Rock. Yeah. And it's
Cool.
so funny. I got my albums up there. I had Paul's, I had Ace's, I had Peter's, but I never had Gene's vinyl, and I had to order it off Walmart. And they don't, and I ordered it twice from Amazon, and they sent me the wrong album 2 times. So I had to go on Walmart, and they gave me a
What did
picture
they
disc
send
for
you?
it. Huh?
Well,
They sent me these albums. Like, one was like a U2 album, and one was Men at Work.
so they got. How did
And
they?
it was like, how did they get? And it was some guy. And I think I did it 2 times. One was, it was some band like U2. I don't know. I'd never heard of before, and I had to return it. And they're like, why would you return it? It goes, you sent me the wrong album, and they did it not once but twice. So I did Walmart. They sent it to me, but it was the picture disc I had at Walmart. I didn't want the picture disc, but that's what they sent me. That's what they had.
At least they got the right person.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, how do you get Gene Simmons mixed up with Men at Work or you two? Hey, Pinocchio. Pinocchio would know about Men at Work. Can you hear me? You having trouble? Oh, I can't hear you now. What'd you do? Oh, you started talking junk about Amazon and they fixed your dang earpiece. Okay, we're having technical difficulties with Warden here. I don't know if he can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Well, why are you shaking your head and no if you say you can't hear me? So I can talk all the junk about Warden I want to right now. If you want to read his lips, guys, it was the F word. Can you hear me? Hello. You just muted yourself. You just hey, you just muted yourself. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
Now?
Hold up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. I'm glad you get to hear me.
That's what you get for talking junk about Amazon. They fixed you right quick.
I know. That's where I bought the speaker from is Amazon. It's weird. No, I hit the thing where I guess it turned it off. Okay.
Yeah.
What were we talking about, Stevie? Okay, better.
We're moving on now. Number 8 for you.
Move On's by Paul Stanley. It's not on my list.
Ain't quite right then.
Dude, we just did 8.
I did
Mr.
8.
Make Believe. No,
You,
Mr.
you
Make
did
Believe was mine at 8.
Okay, that's right. Never mind.
Hello.
All right. So number 7 for me. And this may have a little fatigue for some people, but I remember.
Rock and Roll All Night.
We'll talk about that later. But this one's got a little bit of fatigue, but still, remember seeing it, I guess, for the first time when they played it in Rio. I Love It Loud.
And Right Between the
Right
Eyes.
Between the Eyes. Right Between the Eyes podcast.
Hey, Hillary and Donna, I want y'all to trade places. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, I Love It
The
Loud.
Population Explosion. 100 Babies came out.
Great pump up music. It's on my football the workout for the football team's playlist. They love it. But yeah, it's just a kick-ass song. I mean, Gene does a great job with it. But watching it on Exposed with all those people out there, and Gene's up there raising his
small they look.
Exactly. He looks so small compared. It doesn't even look real.
But, you realize half those people probably didn't understand what he was saying, but hey,
like,
it's power of rock and roll.
They're probably like, who the heck is that the guy in the makeup? But yeah, I love
what? The Village people were busy?
What about that video? I mean, that was really the first, I guess what you would call the first Kiss video.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the promo videos, but this was like the first video that MTV would have had, something like that. And the guy with the perfect little hairdo and the comb in his back pocket.
The comb in the back pocket, yeah.
And then the what was it? Is it the telephone that melts?
Yeah. And then the coffee pot, the coffee cup explodes.
Yeah.
In the refrigerator, they shoot the cannon at the refrigerator.
They didn't do it. What was it? 2? It was 2 music videos and makeup.
What was the other one? No, they did. They did.
I'm talking about
official makeup. They didn't do anything else off Creatures, did they? They did. Is That You? And they did.
But that was
Talk to Me. But they didn't do any
videos for.
But I don't think they only did I Love It Loud was the only one they did with the makeup.
Loud and Psycho Circus. That was the only videos and makeup they ever did.
Oh, Psycho Circus. Okay, I didn't think about Psycho
Circus. Remember they did that 3D video that. Yeah, it didn't work out too well. I remember buying that for Christmas. That was a Christmas present from somebody, and I got in there and I said, "Okay."
They didn't like you or what?
Put on the 3D glasses, and that was it.
I never got the whole 3D thing, like going to the movies. I think what spoiled me is seeing Jaws 3D, and just both times I saw that movie. Yes, I saw it twice. It was a long summer. The movie broke at the same time. Remember how the arm was like floating towards the screen?
Yeah. It was one year when I was a kid. There was a local TV station, well, not local, really local to us, but like,
Are we talking Mayberry or?
No, but they showed a movie in 3D up there. You had to go to a convenience store, a local convenience store. They would give you that you could get the 3D glasses, and it came on like a Saturday afternoon, and that worked better than the freaking Psycho Circus ones did. I mean, it was not Psycho Circus was not good. I've got that sitting right over here right now. But yeah, why did we get off on Psycho Circus? Anyway, like I said, my number 7 is I Love It Loud.
And talk about videos, and we talked about the videos Kiss has done. The makeup running down my face. My number 7 is, speaking of makeup, people dog this song, say it's a throwaway song. I love it, one of my favorites. like if I ever like had a podcast on my own to where I didn't mind, I wouldn't fear of getting sued. I would have this as the intro song. It's called, there's no lawyer working on this show, so we got to be careful. While the City Sleeps, which is it's the name of an old movie, which gets Gene thing. What happens behind closed doors, and something about open sores. I'm like, open wounds or open, like,
Sores.
oh, he says open wounds and
Oh, okay.
something sore. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? He's talking about like, I don't know. But While the City Sleeps, just a I love the intro to it. It's not Murder in High Heels, thank God.
Murder.
But in high heels. But While the City Sleeps, I think who's the guy that Tom and Juice had on the other day? Was talking about it. He helped write this with Gene.
Was
You
it
know what I'm
Mitch
talking
White?
about? Yeah. One
Here's
of my favorite.
like
I love
lyric.
that. I love that song. I love that song.
Here's what you're talking about in the lyric. What goes on behind closed doors?
Open
Private wounds, open doors.
Yeah.
What's
he talking about the Dark Ages when the plague came out, or what? I don't know. I know he got the name from an old movie because he's an old movie buff.
You're your own worst enemy, and cheap thrills bring you to your knees. It's thumbs down for someone you know, and it's easy come and easy go. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, besides the open wounds, I like the song. No. I love the intro. And like I said, if I had a thing where I wouldn't mind getting sued by Gene, I would have that as my intro. Or like if I had like, sports radio, they always have like, how Rush Limbaugh always had the Pretenders song.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, that would be my like intro.
Okay, While the City Sleeps. Okay, that's not on.
So I take it didn't make your list.
No.
Not even your 20 honorable mentions, Stevie.
No.
Wow.
I ain't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of I guess most of the Gene songs on Animalize didn't appeal to me too much.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Murder. That's probably the only Gene 80s song I dislike besides Boomerang. I don't like that one either.
I remember when I got Animalize and you start listening, pop it in the Walkman. Thank God I had my headphones on, and I'm hearing "Burn, Bitch, Burn."
I like that song.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I mean,
and that's some heavy guitar. But see, that's. I think I kind of listened to that before. A friend of mine had a copy of Animalize, and I listened after Asylum. Then I go back and listen to Dress to Kill. I'm like, what the hell? Because I mean, Kiss was heavy with those two albums, with Lick It Up, and Asylum was pretty heavy, but it was more. It wasn't quite as heavy, but I mean, God, Animalize, I love it. It's heavy. I love it.
Dress to Kill was like a dark album with Kiss.
What do you say, dark album?
Because
Room Service is dark.
Think about that. What Two-Timer?
It's a good song, dude.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad.
What's his name? Who was it when we did that Kiss draft? Steve Wright was like talking about stuff off Dress to Kill, and I was like, oh my God, that's blasphemy. I love Dress to Kill.
All right, number 6 for me. And this is another kind of deep cut off Dynasty. And remember hearing it for the first time, and it was so different from any other thing but Charisma.
What is my?
Yeah, what is he? Who is he trying to be at the end? What is my?
Yeah, but man, when he starts going off, dude, boy, Gene can sing, man.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean that's when he goes off. I mean, have you heard the mix of it where it's like more kind of it's like a 12-inch single mix or? I mean it's there's like bootlegs of them out there to where like they were like kind of like Dirty Living. It's just kind of more of the music, it's just, I love that kind of shit. I don't know if somebody mixed it or if it's an official.
I don't know who's playing the guitar in it, but they do a heck of a job up there. But Gene's voice, I'm wondering, just voice wise, like Within, I kind of think of Within about the same way as I do Charisma.
I can see that.
Voice wise, but it was just so different. And I remember hearing it for the first time. I was like, this is different. I mean, I had nothing about "I Was Made for Loving You." I thought was different because it was disco or anything like that. But when it Charisma come on, and
Still a great song.
yeah,
Both of them are.
yeah, but I mean, Charisma for me, as different as it was, but I still love it to this day. One of my favorite songs. Charisma is my number 6.
Charisma didn't make my list because I think I burned down on it because I think when I first heard it, like when I first got into Dynasty, dude, I played that shit. I mean, I loved Hard Times, Magic Touch, all that. I mean, and you look back at it now, it's like, well, it wasn't really a Kiss album, but man, that's some good shit, dude. And it's just
What do you think about X-Ray Eyes?
who sings that one? Is that Gene or
No, it was Gene.
God X? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but Charisma, man, I mean, that should have been on my honorable mention, but it wasn't. And I think because there's so many that I mean, I could probably do almost most of Gene's stuff because it's like I said, doing this album is like I always say I'm a Paul guy, but God, I think it's Gene and Paul for me. They're interchangeable. They're just to me the heart of Kiss.
Yeah.
My Kiss anyway.
All right, number 6.
My number 6 is the title of Almost Human. This did not officially make my list the first time. This changed today. I had, and I'm going to bring up one of my honorable mentions. I'm going to bring up one of my honorable mentions that I had it that it replaced. Sweet Pain / Killer was what it replaced. Because Sweet Pain and Killer to me are sister songs. It's about sadomasochism, which Gene is into. You know, Sweet Pain, you know, Whip is always besides me. You know, Love is sane, love bitch is insane, she deals in pain. I mean, it's about, you know, getting kinky in the bedroom. Sweet Pain and Killer are sister songs, if you ask me. And it's another thing saying that, you know, the follow-up to Destroyer was Creatures.
Right.
And but Almost Human, I was listening to it today. I had it on my playlist. Just that, I'm gonna have Gene taking a dump now every time. Thank you, Stevie, for that. But just that bass thing he plays, I mean, that's just a wicked bass. And I think it's funny with, you know, I love Destroyer, I love Dress to Kill, I love Asylum, but honestly, I think my favorite all-time Kiss album is Love Gun, and I love this song and the Got Love for Sale. I love Kiss. It was beginning to the end. It sucks, but I would have loved to have more like this after Love Gun. Almost Human, just another song that could be an intro to a talk show.
Okay.
Minus the because you got me thinking about that.
Ha!
But what a killer bass line, dude. And
it is.
And you know that wasn't like some unknown studio musician. This was Kiss. They were still doing it.
Isn't that the music for Kiss Attack of the Phantoms, one of the fight scenes?
Was it?
I think it was in there somewhere. But I mean, and I'm thinking about it. I thought most of the solo album stuff was in there. Maybe I'm wrong. But
you're thinking of the mix our buddy did.
It might be. Yeah, probably was. Ken Nardi. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, people,
check it out. Ken Nardi. Number 5 was
Almost Human comments, Stevie?
I did all my comments.
Not one of your favorites or what?
I don't mind it. I'll listen to it. That Got Love for Sale. I like that one. I do like that one. But they kind of remind me of each other. I guess they're because they were the same album, but they kind of remind me of each other. But I don't have any problem with
that 500 demo songs Gene had. Oh, let's do these two.
My uncle is a raft. Yeah, that's Lita is my number 5. Lita. Lita.
What's that?
You've never heard Lita?
Oh,
when we get out of here, you need to look up Gene Simmons singing Lita. Leeta. Oh my gosh. This is like Wicked Lester era.
Oh, okay, I have to check it out.
Oh,
have you ever heard Gene's version of Feel Like Heaven?
Yes.
Let me wrap my. Oh, we won't go there.
Anyway, number 5 for me, Return of the Demon. Remember watching it on seeing the video for the first time.
Boomerang. I knew it.
Uh, Unholy. And seeing
That's your
Gene,
number 5.
that's my number 5. Seeing Gene look like he finally, for a long
Got
time.
done with his dump and Almost Human.
No, for a long time, Gene had lost his way. Did after the makeup came off, didn't know, sitting there looking like
Disagree.
look, no,
Disagree.
listen to me,
Disagree.
looking like B.
Disagree.
Arthur.
Disagree.
Hey, I'm talking here. Looking like B. Arthur doing the Asylum.
No, it's Phyllis Diller's cousin.
And then on Revenge, that was the demon back again with the goatee, the hair up, the black, playing that. Jeez, Unholy. Yeah.
I disagree. I disagree. What? I do not get that. Gene Simmons never lost his way.
Lost his way.
My opinion.
Of all of them, of all 4 that when they took the makeup off, he was the one that looked like he was lost out there because you took everything away from him.
Look-wise, but not music-wise.
There was no spitting blood anymore. There was no breathing fire at first. And then he came back and started doing the fire.
I disagree.
Okay. We agree.
I don't think he lost his way. I think he was just different.
He couldn't
fire. I don't think he lost his way. I disagree with that.
Okay. All right. So number 5 for me is Unholy. Your number 5.
My number 5, Ladies' Room. Not off Rock and Roll Over, but the Live 2 version, Ladies' Room. And I like the version. I think I like the one on a Kiss Exposed. It's when Paul gets up there and starts talking, and then you have Gene like holding the bass up like that, and you're like, dude, and I just say, we want to get down with you, and it's, I think it was in Houston because that's off that Love Gun thing with I Stole Your Love is so good, but that just another one like Ladies' Room, just I like the Alive 2 version. No, I mean it's just I get that melody and that the Peter hitting the cowbell.
Oh yeah.
Meet us in the Ladies' Room.
Yeah, and that's one that got played a lot back in the day, especially on that tour. But when was the last time you heard a Ladies' Room perform live at a Kiss concert?
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah,
I think Gene could still do it.
And it doesn't make any sense because Gene could do it. I mean, a lot
better than Christine 16. Ugh.
No, they don't need to play that anymore.
I never liked that song. I like the Tone Loc version.
Number 4 for me is off the solo album and probably the most Beatles sounded song, but the unplugged version was freaking awesome. And I'm talking about "See You Tonight." I still don't know what he's talking about. He'll make sure she sees it tonight.
I'll get it tonight.
Yeah, I got my ideas. Maybe Christine.
I think it was like tickets to the next show. I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Well, with Gene, unless they had already paid for it, they wouldn't get it tonight without paying for it.
And I never understood that the version on "See You Tonight," it made my honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they never released that as a single. That is a good freaking version. I mean, it's like they could have done that in like Coming Home or, even A World Without Heroes. I mean, those were good. And Kiss was pretty hot back then. They weren't as hot as they were going to be with the makeup back. But I mean, that was, I guess maybe they didn't need to do it. But "See You Tonight" should have been a single. One of those songs should have been a single.
Could have been. That's like Coming Home. A lot of people didn't realize where, Coming Home came from. Where
that's sad. I knew exactly where. I mean, I was shocked as shit. They played it. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
A lot of people were like, "Well, where did this song come from? Is this a new song?" And I was like, "No."
And you couldn't go on setlistfm.com to get the set list back then. You had to you saw it live. It was like, holy shit, that's a pretty badass version.
Yeah.
But the "See Tonight," that's one of my. He did it. He obviously liked the song because it was on a solo album too.
Yeah, definitely.
Or no, was it on Rock and Roll Over?
No, it was on the solo album.
Okay, that's right. I knew it was on one of them.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
Number 4, you mentioned it earlier. probably my first favorite Kiss song. I had no idea at what 13 or 14 what lingerie was. I asked my dad. I go, "Hey, what's lingerie?" He's like, "What the hell are you asking that for?" And it was like I thought it was like a perfume or something, but it was a hot day. She wore lingerie and nothing else in between. You nailed it the other day. You nailed it when you said this is like a '70s song. This is like almost like put your hand in my pocket, grab onto my rocket. This is
It could be
totally tongue in cheek. And that was cool about Kiss. They didn't have. They're kind of like Aerosmith. They don't come out and say the F word, but they're talking about the F word. And it's just that's why it's funny with Kiss is like they never were on like PMRC, like Dirty Dozen or whatever it was, but they were singing the same thing. They just weren't as vulgar. They weren't. They didn't have to be like Wasp and F like a beast.
You didn't have to come out.
They had a little bit of tongue in cheek.
It was intended to be that way, but they didn't come out and say it. Yeah.
Which is like funny because they were talking about Get All You Can Take. For the longest time, I heard is the F word.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, they don't. Kiss doesn't use the F word, and it's like, but then it was confirmed. It was like, oh, that is the F word.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember hearing that the first time. I was
Secretly Cruel, my first Kiss album. I knew Tears Are Falling already, but this is the song. I think it's right, but is it right before Tears Are Falling or right after Tears Are Falling? It's around there. No, it's
Secretly Cruel.
Yeah, I forget, but I remember just the intro, the guitar and everything, and then when Gene goes, yeah, at the end, and the guitar solo, it's just kick-ass song. This is a song that I would love to see them play, but I think Gene can pull it off, but
well, maybe when Gene does his solo tour brings his Gene Simmons band out, they'll do that because they like to do a lot of deep cuts, and I think that's.
I think I got a bootleg somewhere of Bruce, and when it was on one of the cruises, they did it. I think.
Yeah.
Him and Bob.
All right, my number 3, and not going to be higher because so much fatigue, but I can't leave it off the list. What got it all started for Kiss? I'm talking about Rock and Roll All Night. I've made the comment that I wouldn't be upset if I never had to hear it again. But I'll say this, and I said this a while back. I think when Steve was on the show when we did the draft. But if they played like they did at the Brooklyn Bridge, they played that version of Rock and Roll All Night, I could listen to that. That's one of the best. To me, it's better than the live version. Yes, to me, because there's so much electricity there. I'll go along with that. I'll say that. That's my opinion. But the Brooklyn Bridge version for me was awesome. I could listen to that over and over again.
But you're not a fan of the Smashes, Thrash, and Hits version?
Oh my God. Anyway, I'm not even going there. But Rock and Roll All Night, what started it all for them. And I was thinking about this today because I was listening to music at work and it came on. How do you with Paul the way he is now, and the biggest song they got out there, the one that pretty much closes everything, Paul doesn't sing on. How do you think that makes him?
I don't think it's a big deal.
I don't know. I really don't know anymore.
I don't think Paul's as petty as
4 or 5 years ago, I would say it, but
I think Paul's is just old, and I don't think he's petty. I think he's a little bitchy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Paul gets a lot of hate, but I don't think he's
a lot of times he asks for it.
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of more. I'll defend Paul. I guess I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing against Paul. Look, I still love Paul, but the way he's acted the last couple of years, whether it's pandemic Paul or whatever.
He's a freaking 70-year-old man. He's like that's how Howard Stern is. He's an old yenta. He even says that on their air. He's an old lady now. Really? I mean, you get old, you get grumpier, man. I mean,
Gene's done the opposite though.
Yeah, but Gene has. I don't know. I think I don't know. I think I don't know. I mean, look at Paul. They give him a bunch of shit. He shit on both his parents in his book, but with his dad, he made up with his dad, and he made his dad's last few years of his life great. So Paul's not all bad.
No, I'm not saying he's all bad, but I think
I think Gene is just more appreciative. I think Gene realizes, like I'm kind of realizing at 51 that most of my life's behind me,
Yeah.
and you got to be happier. And I think it's just a mindset. I think Paul's just he doesn't look at it that way as Gene does. Gene's is just I'm grateful. I mean, it's like Heath Richards said. Mick gets up, runs a couple miles. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, God damn, I'm glad to be alive. I mean, I think
Yeah, I
Paul's
would-
just you just look at life a lot different. I mean, it's just I mean, Paul. I think Gene is real grateful because Gene used to shit on Kiss a lot, but I think Paul's been the heart for so long, and I think Paul's just done. And I think Gene is like he's not like that. He used to be, oh, our music sucks. He said that at their height. Oh, we're not that great. But I think Paul's carried it for so long. There's other things that Paul's outgrown Kiss. He's ready to move on,
Yep,
and he's
definitely.
just he just
Biding
he's
his
just not good at hiding it.
Yeah, he's just biding his time now.
No, I
Uh,
agree. It's like when you retire, it's like you're good to go.
yep.
And
Number
Gene probably wishes they go back 20 years, and he probably wishes Ace and Peter would have stayed in the
he could
band.
do it
Paul's
over
moved
again.
on.
I think Gene wishes he could do it over again.
And I hope to God Gene does tour and plays Kiss because that's the only way it's going to stay alive.
I think he will.
I do too. And I want to go see him. I'll go see him.
Number
Alrighty. Number
three.
3. Rock and Roll Night didn't make my list. But with Rock and Roll Night, there was a while I would come on, I would fast forward it and stuff. I'm not like that anymore. I've come to respect it. I personally, you talk about the one under the Brooklyn Bridge, and better than the live version. I personally like the Dress to Kill version. I like just the meat and bones, no solo. I just think it's just the best version. I don't like any remixes of it. I just like the straight ahead version, and I think it just goes back to Dress to Kill because when I got into Kiss, I was thinking, hey, what's that song I saw the video for? And it was I Live It Loud, but I thought it was Rock and Roll Night, so that's why I bought Dress to Kill. I mean, before Google, that's all we had. We had to buy it.
Yeah. So
My number 3 is a song that I didn't really like for many years, but I love now, and I can't explain it. It just wasn't one of my favorites, but I like the Alive 2 version of it because it reminds me of Kiss Meets the Phantom at the end. It's just God of Thunder. The live version, it's just when I hear that Peter going to that drum, dun 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 dun. I mean, it's just and that's the version they play on the movie.
yeah.
And it's just and you listen to Peter's solo. I mean, you talk about a band at the height of its just too bad it peaked after that for that era. But just God of Thunder. I don't care for I never got the thing with the kids and the
Oh,
stuff like that. I never really got that part. But I like the live version,
I'm
and I
gonna
like when Gene plays it live. I think it's pretty cool when he flies up to the top. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my thoughts on this too because that's my number 2.
Okay.
The sped up version on Live 2, I'll agree with you. That is freaking awesome. But I do like some of the things that Ezra did on that studio with the kids. That was, I mean, because it was like, I remember hearing it as a kid, it was like, okay, what are these guys doing?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, what, and then having the walkie talkies on and all the other special effects they had on there.
For the kids in the audience, walkie-talkies, what we had before cell phones.
Exactly. And it was just like another different thing, and you hadn't heard anything like it before, but it totally felt like it was telling a story with that studio version.
Yeah.
And Ezrin trying all that stuff, and I actually had to. I think I still have the picture of on my phone. Somebody on a message board put up there exactly what those kids were saying.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. And I sat and listened to it to see if
something they said something you're playing too loud. I don't like hear it that loud or something like that. Yeah.
They call out King Kong too.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, that makes sense because 76. Yeah, King Kong was huge.
King Kong. Yeah, they say King Kong.
Jessica Lange.
But you really want to check out something. Go on YouTube and look up isolated vocals of God of Thunder and hear Gene doing the vocals. It is freaking awesome.
Have you heard the White Zombie version of it?
You talking about the super
White
band?
Zombie? Yeah, White Zombie does God of Thunder.
Oh, I hadn't heard White Zombie. Now the one that the super group played with Ace and
No, this is White Zombie. This came out in the late '80s,
I hadn't
and I
heard.
remember seeing it because it's got like a picture of Rob Zombie in like a kiss mask, and there's a part of it where you Google it's on YouTube, and it has the beginning of Alive 2. You one of the best. Hey, wait a minute, and it starts God of Thunder. It's pretty cool. Because I remember I went and got the import for that because I was such a Kiss freak in the late '80s. Like that's how I got into White Zombie. It wasn't Thunder Kiss that got me into it. Was God of Thunder. Yeah, it's a pretty good version.
The super group when they did the Kiss Rock Honors with Slash, Tommy Lee, Ace
Zombie.
came out, Rob Zombie. I think Scott Ian was playing bass.
Yeah,
that was freaking awesome.
That sucks too because VH1 was. I mean, it took the mantle up for MTV, and it was so good, and it's like
nothing now. VH1 had everything. You know, they were showing the Rock Honors. They were doing some stuff with Kiss. They were doing that metal show. I mean, they were like starting to play kind of music that I would watch VH1 a lot. But then
they have it now. MTV Classic. They play like
classic, but
they play those videos I recorded. They actually got some more new videos in. They're not playing the same three.
Wow. Anyway, number 2 for me is God of Thunder. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 for me is off Alive 1.
Sure.
What a way to kick it off. Just, I remember watching Kiss Exposed and just a big San Francisco fucker West good can't say it. You know what I'm talking about. I can't say it. Deuce. I'm not crazy about the original version on the album. The Smash and Thrash hits okay because it's got kind of more of Ace's solo. But the live version of Deuce, when you have your little headphones out there and it kicks off just the explosion. I mean, when we talk about Kiss and like how the live version saved kind of the studio albums.
Yeah.
I mean, just, and that, I was watching something the other day I've never seen before. And I was on, how they had the reels on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I never saw this before, but it was them doing Deuce on the Midnight Special. And I was like, I've never seen that before. With the rainbow, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
remember.
such a kick-ass song. I mean, it's my number 2. Deuce, I just, I'm like a Gene all of a sudden, and singing about a deuce now. Thanks.
Oh wait, that's the sister song for Almost Human. He's worth
but it does bug me in Alive where Paul says do it and he does it twice.
He
like,
does
no,
it
Paul.
every freaking
he doesn't do it now. He doesn't do it all the time. There's other versions he doesn't do it on.
Jeez. So, well, let me tell you, and I'll go ahead and talk about Deuce because Deuce is my number 1.
Wow.
But yeah, just the perfect, just like you said, starts off Alive. And then on the reunion tour, they went back to it, opening up again, and the perfect way to open up a show with Paul playing the intro to it, and then the curtain drops, and Gene comes out Gene sets the tone with that song, and of course they've got the little back and forth thing that Ace or whoever's playing guitar and Paul and Gene do, but yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Get up and get your grandma out of here. What the heck does that mean?
Dude, you're 22 years old. You're eating turkey sandwiches in a loft. You write the lyrics, though, dude.
Does that mean like, all right, we're in the bed together. Get your grandma out of here so we can,
Could be. I read an interview with Gene one time, and he said that he ripped off "Bitch" by the Stones. Yeah, you can definitely hear that. You can definitely hear that. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Well, every song rips off another song somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's like Keith Richards said one time. There's like this one big song and everybody borrows from it. But if you're the Stones, you'll sue the Verb for it. So if the Verb does it, you'll sue them.
Well, you can be like John Fogerty and get sued for plagiarizing your own music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys are brothers, aren't they? Aren't they related or something?
I think so. I may be wrong.
But yeah, Deuce is just. I mean, it was kind of weird though when they didn't open with it. Like on the Alive 3 tour. It was kind of like Alive 3. They play it. I'm like, that's kind of weird. That should be an intro. And
well,
I don't think they
Hot in the Shade. They didn't open with it.
Yeah, they opened with "I Stole Your Love."
Yeah, Yeah.
But
It's
when I
weird. It's just weird to hear it in the middle of a set.
yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
played it on the end of the road tour, and it's pretty cool because they show Bruce and they show all the lineups playing it. Because they showed like on the end of the road tour. I think Bruce shared it. They showed like them playing it on the Hot in the Shade tour, which
You think they'll acknowledge Bruce the last show?
I personally wish Bruce would open up, but he'd probably blow them away. Just
Uh,
saying.
yeah. I don't think he's. What I'm hearing, I don't think he's going to even be there.
But I don't know, man, because it's like somebody was saying that, it seems like Gene said something like it's going to be a big deal or something. I think it's just going to be a regular show. I
I
think they're
think.
done with. I don't think they're going to bring like Ace and Vinny out. No.
I think the person with the best chance as far as that hasn't
Bruce.
ran their mouth. No, well, besides Bruce,
Peter?
that hasn't ran the mouth or anything, is just set back, and I think Peter's got the best chance to come out of any of them.
Paul
Yeah.
hates Peter too much.
Well, I mean, let's go ahead and get this straight. Like, Paul hated Peter and Ace when the reunion tour too. He just knew they
But
needed.
I think with Paul though, I mean it's already sold. Aren't the both shows sold out? So they have nothing. They have nothing to
I don't know if
lose.
they're all sold out yet.
I think they are.
Well, how many of that is scalpers?
Yeah, it don't matter. They're still to Kiss. It don't matter. They're
That's what I'm
sold.
saying it because our buddy Joe Decker just bought. He just
Oh, he
bought
did.
last week to it. So he told
Oh
me.
well, never mind then.
Yeah, he messaged me and said I finally broke bad and
Well, I
decided.
would go. I mean, it's in New York. It's by where he lives.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to go, but I'm not making the trip all the way to New York for that.
Dude, you don't even go to your own state to see him.
I went out of state to see him.
One time.
Yeah, but still, I went.
That's
All
all
right,
good.
what's your number one?
My number one was one of yours before. It's my ringtone. I don't necessarily agree with you that Gene checked out, but I do think this is my favorite all-time Gene song. Definitely my favorite Bruce solo. It's Unholy. I remember coming home when I worked at the grocery store. It was Headbangers Ball. It was still a thing. And Dana Strum and Mark Slaughter were hosting Headbangers Ball. And they were talking about it. And, of course, I'd seen them a couple years earlier I saw Slaughter like 3 times within like a year. I saw him twice with Kiss and once with Poison. And it was like, they were Dana Strum was like, oh, much heavier Kiss. And you hear that shit all the time. And I just remember hearing it. Didn't I hear that? I'm like, holy shit. And I just, and honestly, Unholy was kind of the benchmark for the whole album. Because I'm not a big fan of Unholy, or not Unholy, of Revenge. I like this, and I like Thou Shalt Not, which was my honorable mentions, and I Just Wanna. And that's probably it. I mean, the rest of it, I mean, I like Paul, but Unholy to me is the best song on there. And Unholy is to me, my favorite Gene song, Unholy. That transcends makeup, non-makeup, everything. Unholy. That's when I started growing my goatee.
You wanted to look
I wanted to be like Gene.
Did you start wearing big leather trench coats?
No, no.
And put your hair up in a bun?
It's Texas, dude. I don't wear. No, by then it's too bad the hair was already receding. So I did grow a goatee, but I didn't wear trench coats. You don't wear trench coats in Texas. It's too damn hot.
All right. So,
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Go ahead. Since I started first, you go ahead with your honorable mentions.
Okay, my honorable mentions. Sweet Pain, Killer. I mentioned them before. I think they're sister songs. A World Without Heroes, the unplugged version. I think that could have been a single. That's one of the few songs. That's one of my favorites off The Elder. The Cher version is actually kind of cool too, if you haven't heard it. On the Eighth Day and Saint and Sinner. To me, they're about religious depression. They're both sister songs. Song It's My Life. I know it's a cover. Or not, they wrote it, but it's the cover. I don't know why this wasn't on Revenge. Or Psycho Circus. Radioactive. You mentioned this one, See You Tonight. Another one you mentioned, I Love It Loud. But the Alive 3 version, I like that one. I like the video they had out when he had the Pantera shirt on, F censorship. Another one that I think is sister songs is Watching You and Parasite. I always kind of thought they were kind of sister songs, early Kiss. You mentioned it, but you didn't have it on your list. Within. I do not know why this wasn't a single. I think Within is probably the best song on Psycho Circus. I just love this
Yeah, I
song.
like it. Did you
To
ever?
me, this is when the demon was back, when he was more into character Within. Even more so than Unholy. But that's just my 2 cents.
What did you ever hear them play Within live?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Oh gosh, because Gene,
He tried too hard. I don't think Unholy's great live either. I think he's trying too hard.
Well, they said they stopped playing Unholy live because it was too hard for him to play the bass parts and sing at the same time. It was complicated.
I don't like the Alive 3 version of Unholy.
The Within on the opening night of the Psycho Circus tour, when they played at Dodger Stadium, they did Within, and I remember hearing it, and I was like, "This is a freaking train wreck." I mean, it was Gene's voice was not. He was not able to do that. And then the background vocals, whoever was singing, I'm sure it was Paul. It just didn't fit. I mean, it's some songs you can't.
No, play. Stevie, that was me, Ace Frehley.
But yeah, that. Okay, let me get my
77 honorable mentions.
All the other Gene songs that he ever sang. All right, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell.
Yes.
Thou Shalt Not.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm looking. I don't want. I'm trying not to use the same ones you use.
Oh, so you can go ahead. That's fine.
No, but because I want to get more out there. Betrayed. I love Betrayed.
Yes. And No One Gives Up.
Hate. Love them and leave them. And then this is one that's probably going to give me a lot of hate. No pun intended for it. Journey of 1,000 Years from Psycho Circus. It's different, but I like it. I like
That the one that they got sued for by Alice Cooper?
No, that was Dreamin'.
Okay.
Dreamin' was I'm 18, Part 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Journey of 1,000 Years was the last song, and at the end of it, they did it was like the orchestra played the Psycho Circus chorus. Dun, dun.
I don't remember that one.
I've heard a lot of people on the podcast talk about that sounded like an Elder song.
That's probably why I don't like it.
Well, it's good. I like it. I mean, Gene does a good job on it. The chorus is really good. And look, We Are One. People
like
that song all the time. I love We Are One. Nothing wrong with We Are One.
I do too. I agree. I love that song.
Yeah. It would have fit on that solo album.
I like Finally Found My Way. Just saying. It's a lot better than that Paul train wreck of Nothing Keep Me Away From You. God, that's horrible. Geez. But I not to get off when we do the Peter Criss song, that's going to be on my list. Yeah. I like that song. I don't get the hate for that. I really don't, because I think Peter sings his ass out on it, but that's another show.
I think they could. I think instead of, if they were going to do that song with him, nothing wrong with doing that song with. They should have gave him a upbeat song too, but they weren't going to give him 2 songs. I think.
Oh, no.
I would have liked to hear something like and not saying like that song, but an upbeat song like a Hooligan or.
So we got 2 left, right? We got to do Paul and then Peter.
Paul and Peter. Okay. So looking over this list, I mean, Radioactive, you said that too. Mr. Make Believe, you had that on your list.
Radioactive was honorable mention. So.
Yeah. Not for the Innocent is another good one. But
yeah, that and Young and Wasted.
Yeah. Was that Young and Wasted one day let Eric sing in concert, right? On the
yeah, but I'm talking about the one on the
Look It Up. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And it's funny, I ordered that, and I don't usually order vinyl, but since I'm doing the stuff with the wall art now, I got the Lick It Up one.
Yeah.
And it's like I go through Lick It Up, and it just how many songs I love off that album.
Vinny did a good job.
Yeah.
Because Vinny, Vinny kicked ass on that album. It's just a shame he's a weirdo. I mean,
You give the guy the key to the city, you know.
he's to the kingdom and he hangs himself. It just as he go out to get the
Well,
keys.
you can that's true because look what Revenge, you know. It's like, can
But
you imagine? And I love Bruce Kulick, but can you imagine they probably would have wrote a lot better, like more hits with Vinny than in the 80s.
can you, every instance where he was about to have success, he is just look.
Self-destructive.
Vinny Vincent Invasion, All System Go. They
But
were getting
look at the
big.
shit he pulled at Creatures Fest, man. I mean,
Oh,
he's still doing that shit.
but then you hear him when people meet him, like Tom and Zeus got to meet him, talk about how humble he is, how he likes talking to
He's
the fans.
very delusional.
But there's something going on there. And it may be, I don't know if he's, never mind. But
I don't
so
know, Stevie. Give me more.
okay, pun intended. Uh, so that's going to do it for tonight, guys. This is our
For the
top 10
Demon,
Simmons songs.
our salute to the Demon. Thank you, Gene Simmons, for introducing me to Kiss.
He
I
actually,
was told to, become a Christian and stuff, but I became a disciple of Kiss. Thank you, Gene.
oh Lord. But so next
I didn't
week,
call him Lord. I just called him, next week's Thanksgiving.
next week's Thanksgiving will be taken off, but we've got a show or two we can put out next week. You won't be without on the fly. So
And
actually, we
pay
got
attention.
3
Isn't something coming up Saturday?
Saturday. Yes, definitely Saturday. If you haven't checked out our newest sidecast, the Triple Threat main event with our buddy from Australia, where they call it Dynasty, like Paul said.
That's
Well,
funny.
we'll do our top triple threat main event with our top 10 favorite wrestling entrance
And
songs.
you guys need to freaking know what next Saturday means. I don't know if it's a thing in
I
Australia.
said
Next
that. I
Saturday.
said this
He
there.
said next Saturday. That's
Yeah,
like to me like a week from Saturday.
yeah. Well, we'll be live in living color.
And then you told him 7 p.m. and it's like, Warden, your time. Like, what? I got to be at work at 3 o'clock. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, but live in living color in public, if you will, like Dusty Rose
We'll
used to
be
say.
debuting our new theme too.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. Jack has done a great job with that. Can't wait for you guys to see that intro. But so next time you see it, guys, we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Uh, it'll be Christmas or
But we'll
Kiss.
see you before Thanksgiving if you tune in on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see you then. But as far as on the fly, this will be it before Thanksgiving. But you guys have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much.
Yes.
But
Too
guys,
late.
any last words, Warden?
Nope. I just want to thank you, Stevie, for including me on this one. I love Kiss. And Stevie, I love you, brother. You're a good
Oh
man. I
my
appreciate
God.
it, everything you're doing. But yeah.
What do you want? What do you want? You're being too
No,
nice.
but the thing about it is we appreciate everybody listening,
Yes.
and we appreciate you putting up with us and our love for Kiss. I know I do it a lot on our pages, but I do have a request. If you're putting the porn on our pages and Facebook, please stop because
Well,
it
they're not.
actually makes us do some work, and it does suck.
They're,
Granted, you want to send that a messenger, personally, that's fine, but just not on our
they're not
pages.
going to listen. They'll keep doing that. Look, guys. We do apologize if you've been on
Yes.
either of the pages and see the porn come up there. That is not us.
Yeah.
By any means, that is not us at all. And we're trying to set some settings in there and keep that from happening. But if you do see it on our page,
Please
please
report it.
let us know. Report it and let us know. I appreciate some people letting me know the other day about it. I think it wasn't just you. It was a lady. A lady let me know. Paula, who is a big time supporter of the on the fly page. She let me know about it, and but yeah, it's just people trying to be idiots or being idiots. It's not us,
You
please.
know,
Not us.
more idiots than what me and Stevie are. Not
Yeah,
those kind of idiots.
yeah, we're a different kind of idiot. I just saw, Joe Burrow, with the Ravens playing the Bengals, like left the game with a right wrist injury. So Bengals could be in trouble.
Ravens are pissed because they lost to the freaking Browns.
They not only lost to them, they blew that lead. I loved every minute of that too.
Well, yeah, you would. That's like me when Philly loses, but too bad they
what's the
beat
score?
our ass. I'm going to that game. Did I tell you I'm going to the Philly Cowboys game?
Yeah, you told me. 14-10 right now in the second quarter. So it's maybe. Let me see if Burrow's back in the game yet or not.
But did he get hurt? He was hurt earlier, wasn't he?
No, it was just a few minutes ago. He's
Hmm.
still out. So maybe Cincinnati can pull something out, but we'll see.
Well, that's two teams here in your division, right? You don't. It's like me when
Yeah,
the Washington. It's like when the Giants play the Eagles. Like, I hope they both lose.
I can take the Bengals a little more than I can the Ravens until we're playing them. I mean, when it's outside us playing them, I can take them better than I can the Ravens.
I like the way Dallas is playing right now, but they still haven't really beat anybody. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. You know me. I'm not.
Danny DeVito was quarterback last week.
You know me. I'm not a. I'm somebody that.
Yeah.
I'll put a joke out about the Cowboys. People are like, well, you're a hater. It's like, no. With the Cowboys, you got to joke about them or you'll cry. That's why I put that out there about. Did you see that one I sent you about? It has Mike McCarthy holding the title with Dak behind him, like the Cowboys beat a 1-16 team.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we own the Giants, man. Yeah.
Of course you do.
I'm hoping that the Eagles will be different. And it's so funny with the Eagles. It's like I love Jason Kelsey, and I like Jalen Hurts. And it's like these are the Eagles are weird. There's nobody on there I hate, but I still don't like.
You just don't like.
Yeah, there was a. I don't know. I'll say this in the end. I was watching the podcast for the Kelsey brothers, and it was this guy. He was a Philadelphia fan, and he was talking about how much he hated Dallas. Well, he was a cop. And he goes, hold on, I got to pull this guy over. And it's like, what did the guy have a Dallas? Travis goes, what did the guy have a Dallas Cowboys bumper sticker on? Or is that why you pulled him over? It's like, the Eagles Cowboy hate is bad.
Real.
I mean,
real. And it's that when you have two good teams, and now especially with both of them having two good teams, it's even more of a hatred there.
Yeah, Cowboys. I'm always cautiously optimistic, but I'm not. You know me, Stevie. I mean, I love my boys. I will always do it.
Yeah.
But I don't have much faith. It's just, I've been burned too many times. It's like that Cowboys girlfriend. You kind of like not pay attention to her, but everyone around December, she knocks on the door. She's looking pretty good. You going to let her in and break your heart again? Probably.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for tonight. Like we said, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time on The Fly.
See ya.